Rachel, it was a really fun weekend at home for the Whitworth women's tennis team. A non-conference, well, two non-conference wins, College of Idaho, and a non-conference win over a conference opponent in Puget Sound. Take us back through the weekend and what you saw out there from the team and what stood out for you in the play.
Well, I think as I've mentioned before, we lost to College of Idaho this fall, and we're really, really close when we competed with them in the fall at Whitman. We ended up losing 4-5, and my whole team agreed that it was a winnable match, and so it was exciting to get the opportunity to take it to them this weekend, and we did. And there were a few big notable wins where we had the same matchups as we did in the fall with different outcomes in our favor. One of them is Gracie Smiley. She lost in 2 close sets to College of Idaho's top player, who is rated significantly higher than her on paper. And she walked away from that match not just being pleased with a close competition. She walked away feeling like she wanted to get it done for real the next time. And she did in 3 sets. Lots of tiebreakers, but just ended up being really mentally focused throughout the entire match. And her mentality is what did it for her in that particular match. Another notable win was Natalie Budge at number 3 singles against College of Idaho. She lost a match against the same opponent earlier in the fall in straight sets. Not super close. Ended up beating her in 3 sets. Took the last 2 sets 6-0, 6-1. So pretty decisive finish for Natalie. But honestly, all the W's that day were clutch, and we ended up winning 6-3. And honestly, we're walking away feeling like, man, we want to close the gap on that 6-3 even more. We played Puget Sound on Sunday. And it was good for us to kind of see a little bit of their lineup, but they didn't end up bringing their full roster, and we're expecting to see maybe a few different changes as we prepare for them next weekend in our conference play, but it was good to get some insight. I was able to play more of my roster as well. Every single one of my players played in counting matches this weekend, and every single one of my players is walking away with some win, either in doubles or singles, or in all the places they played at some point this weekend. So we're at a good spot as we prepare for conference play.
To what do you attribute the improvement from October to last weekend?
A lot of it, honestly, is just tennis IQ, and I think specifically we've been working a lot on doubles play. So a lot more confidence in our doubles play, and then in singles specifically, we've been talking through more intentional strategies and have really been focusing in on our mental game since January. And I just think all of those things gave us an edge this weekend against both our competitors.
So, yeah, you referenced it a little bit, turning around and playing the exact same team that you just played on Sunday, Puget Sound, to open Northwest Conference play this weekend. How do you guard against being overconfident based on the result? You did say that they didn't have their full lineup. Is that pretty much what you have to prep for, is you don't know what they really have?
We do know what they have in some regard. We've been able to, look back at different scores and different lineups against different schools and piece the puzzle together a bit. But honestly, this year at the top end of our conference and at the low end of our conference, everything's tighter. So even though we had what some would call decisive victory over Puget Sound, all of my players, I think, recognize the necessity of humility when we walk onto the court every time. It wasn't a match that we could just walk out and give 50% to and expect the same results. Puget Sound is still a good school, a good team that can come out and take it from us, and man, they have in the past. And sometimes humbling ourselves to those past experiences is exactly what we need to have the right mentality when we step back out on the court.